Greetings and welcome to the Awareness Magazine TV show. For this edition of the Awareness Magazine TV show, we have Daniel the Healer. Daniel is an intuitive, holistic energy healer, a medical intuitive, and spiritual counselor who heals with love. So we're honored to have Daniel on the show tonight. Welcome, Daniel.
Oh, well, hello, welcome. Nice to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you. So my first question is, tell our audience a little bit about your background.
Okay, well, I went through a lot. As I explained to you just a while ago, my formal education is in hotel administration. And then in 1973, I came to this country. I tried to find a job. It didn't work. I decided to become self-employed. I became a caterer. I catered fancy dinners at people's homes. About 5 years later, I turned vegetarian. And so I couldn't cook anymore. I had to do whatever. So I traveled to the country as a vegetarian cooking instructor. But there wasn't, 40 years ago, there wasn't much demand for that. So I shifted. I became a computer consultant. I learned to work with computers. I programmed. I installed systems. I got tired of that. My meditation interfered with what I was able to maintain in my brain. And so I turned to real estate. I became a realtor and a mortgage broker. I did this for a while. I was really, really poor at marketing myself, so I didn't really do well. I did some MLM. I helped my wife in her business, and all along though, and I've done it for about the last 42 years, I did healing. I started with hypnosis, and now the last 12 years I'm doing it full time.
That's great. And talk a little bit about chakras and what they are, how they function.
Okay. Chakras are a term that was used in Sanskrit. It's been around, the awareness of them has been around for about 4,000 years. There are enormously different chakra systems. And so, I use a system that was given to me by my spiritual teacher. I use a 12 chakra system, but there's the 7 chakra system, the 6 chakra, whatever. It doesn't matter. I want to tell the audience, if you have a system that works for you, please, when you hear about mine, don't change. If it works for you, fine. But if you have nothing or that you have doesn't work for you, then please, you can adopt what I'm talking about. So, of those 12 chakras, 7 are within your body. First of all, I want to say that a chakra is a vortex. It's like a hurricane or a spout, in the sink when
the water funnels.
Yes. So it's the same thing. This is how energetically energy gets exchanged. It either goes in or it comes out.
Okay.
So your chakras are your microphones and your loudspeakers to your energy world. When people meet each other, how they somehow know the other person immediately within a few seconds. This is because your microphones and loudspeakers on an energetic level communicate with the microphones and loudspeakers of the other person. And so you immediately know from an energetic, now you may not be aware of it if you're not in tune with it, but you immediately know what the other person's all about. And so that's what happens through your chakras. So now we're going to talk about the chakras more specifically. You have your root chakra. It's at the base of the spine. It deals with safety and security issue. Then on your pubic bone, you have your second or sacral chakra. The root chakra, by the way, is blood red.
Okay.
Sacral chakra is orange. The sacral chakra deals with pleasure, creativity, and procreation. Solar plexus is next. It's about a couple of inches above your belly button, a little inside. Color is yellow. It deals with emotions. All of your emotions are felt in your solar plexus. Also deals with will. Also deals with your personal power. We're coming to the heart. It's behind the middle of the breastbone. Green is the color, dealing with all the issues of love. Receiving love, giving love. Throat, blue, deals with expression. Your third eye, right between the eyebrows, the color is indigo, deals with your awareness of yourself as a divine person. Also deals with your what is known as the sixth sense, all your psychic impressions, all your intuitive perceptions, all goes through your third eye. And then finally, inside the body, your seventh is your crown chakra, which is your gateway on your communication with the divine. So if you talk to God, if you say your prayers at night, it goes out through your crown chakra.
Okay. What color is your crown chakra?
Your crown chakra is anywhere between amethyst and white.
Okay.
So it depends. It can change.
Okay.
The base color is amethyst, but it can be more brilliant and more brilliant until it can be totally white.
Okay.
So then in your energy field, who you are, you have an aura. And so below your feet, about 2 feet below your feet, is your Auric Chakra. Your Auric Chakra is rainbow colored. It has all the colors. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then again above, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh,
And
okay.
9, 10, 11, 12 are all white.
Okay.
And so the function of those is 9 is your truer or greater self. 10 is your higher self. 11 is your soul. And 12 is God. God is all that is.
Okay.
So that's your chakras.
It's interesting. I've heard of the 7 always, but never up to the 12, so that's great information. And how do we keep our chakras clear, as that's very important to keep them clear?
Yes, it is. An easy way to do that, well, so why would you want to keep them clear? Let's talk about this first. So, as I said to you, first of all, you receive through the back. You have funnels in the back and you have funnels in the front. And you transmit through the front. So let's say that you say a prayer. You have a particular desire and you ask the divine to fulfill that desire. And so, but there's something not right with your crown chakra. So what happens in a microphone or a loudspeaker if something is garbled? What comes out is, it's not whatever your thoughts or your desires are. You see?
Right. It's not clear.
Yes. Who you are, what you think, how you feel gets translated into energy. And then that energy gets transmitted out of you. And based on those things that I talked about, the chakras, if you like, in a speaker array, you have not just one type of speaker. You have the horn, you have the tweeter, which is high, you have the woofer, which is low, and you have the subwoofer, which is really low. And so your chakras are doing the same thing. And so your concerns about asking the divine for whatever it is that you wish will go out through your crown chakra. But if something is messed up in your crown chakra, the desire will not be transmitted cleanly. So the way, and the thing is that you continuously emit into your world who you are. And if this is garbled, your world will respond to you based on the garbled information you're sending out, and may give you stuff that is not, that you don't wish to have at all. Because, you know, you say, please, I want to be healthy, may be heard, please, I want to be really sick. And then you receive all these illnesses. So functioning with your energy field and making certain that it is clear transmits to your world a clear message. So now that you know why we're doing this, let me tell you briefly about how you actually can clean your chakras.
Yeah, please, because a lot of people probably need to clean their chakras.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And a lot of problems that people have is just simply because their chakras are not balanced properly. So you imagine kind of a disc, like a CD. The discs are vertical, and you have one for each chakra. So for your root chakra, you would have a disc, and the disc, the idea for you is to spin the disc. So first of all, when you start with your root chakra, the disc has to be red. So we again go through the colors.
You match the colors
You
of
color,
the
match
chakra.
the color and the location of the chakra.
Okay.
So you imagine this disc. It's in front of your root chakra, which is at the tip of your spine. It's blood red. And so you start in your mind. It is all done in your mind. You don't have to, the disc doesn't exist. It's,
Right.
It's just in your imagination. So in your imagination, you start to spin the disc. It always goes up on the right, down on the left. So it always goes like this. This one, this one, this one, all 7 discs.
Clockwise, or doesn't matter which way it
Well, it does
spins?
matter.
It does matter.
Up on your right side, down on your left. So it goes this way. Now you see when I say clockwise or counterclockwise, how is it? Are
Right.
you look when you
That
look?
was my next question.
That's right, because if you look at me, it would be clockwise.
Right.
But if I look at it from behind, it's counterclockwise.
Right.
So it's easier to remember, up on the right, down on the left.
So if I'm looking at it, it's clockwise.
If you're looking at it, it's clockwise, correct.
Okay. That makes sense.
Now you got me confused.
I'm
No,
sorry.
if you're looking at it up on the right, down on the left, it goes this way. If I'm looking at it, it's counterclockwise.
Okay. Counterclockwise. Okay.
If somebody looks at it from the outside, it's clockwise.
Okay. Got it. So if I'm clearing my throat chakra, I imagine a disc. I'm looking at it. It's the color blue.
Correct.
And then I envision it turning counterclockwise.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
So what you do is you imagine the disc, you imagine the color, and then you start to spin it. And you spin it faster, 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 as fast as you can in your imagination spin it.
Okay.
It may take you 5-10 seconds to get it up to speed. So I like to use the noise that a drill makes at your dentist's office, this really, really high pitch. And so you start and you go, and each time it spins faster and faster and faster until it reaches maximum speed, and then you slow it down until it comes to a complete standstill, to a stop.
Okay.
I kind of, in my imagination, I grab the disc until it, and then you let it go. And so now your chakra has been cleared, and it has been reset, and it has been balanced. And so you do all 7 chakras, one after the other, spin it, fast, 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 as you can, Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Bring it to a stop. Let it go. To the next. Same procedure to the next. You do that, maybe initially it may take you 10 minutes, but as you do this, you will learn maybe after a few weeks, you can do it in a minute, minute and a half.
Okay.
And
so with practice, it gets faster.
yes,
Okay.
it gets faster. You do it faster because you can imagine faster.
And then spirituality. Let's talk about spirituality and how we're all divine beings, and how do we reach our own individual divinity?
Well, let me start with that.
Okay.
How do we reach our own divinity? First of all, we don't reach it. We are. We are inherently divine. We become aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. It's you owning that you are divine. So, from the point of view of religion, first of all, religion prefers you not to be divine, not for you to think as being divine, because then they lose control over you. They like you to be sinners. They like you to be in a situation where you are dependent upon the church to receive your salvation. But we are inherently divine. We were created in His image and likeness. And we are all children of God. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the child of the king is the prince. But when the prince grows up, he's the king. And when we grow up as a child of God, we become God. So it's a matter of knowing that and owning that you are a divine person. So, of course, there's some work to be done. You see, when we come into this reality from wherever we float about in the timeless now, I call it, mm-hmm. the eternal timeless now. There's no time. You just float. You just are.
Right.
You are a energy form, possibly in some geometric figure of light. And you exist there. And that is your eternal self, which is also your soul. Your soul is your eternal self. It's you, but on that level. And so, from time to time, as seen in our perspective here on Mother Earth, from time to time, we decide that we want to have an experience. And so we say, okay, I want to experience, I don't know, happiness. I want to experience happiness. I want to figure out what that is. And we have like hundreds, thousands of lifetimes. We want to experience everything. So the call goes out. I need a set of volunteers. I need a set of parents who are willing to work with me. And so on the other side, before you come here, agreements are made. Mm-hmm. You then come through the veil of time-space and attach to this little infant body that has been provided to you. But unlike any other physical experience, of which many exist in this universe, the physical experience related to being here on Mother Earth is very, very special. This is the only one where you totally forget who you are. So yes, you have to start from scratch every time. And of course, society tells you that you're not worth anything, that you as one individual cannot make a difference. There's a lot of shame that is involved in our upbringing, and so we therefore assume that we are not divine. God, who created us, He reached into Himself. Remember, on the sixth day, He created man. On the seventh day he rested. He didn't go to some Home Depot in heaven to get pieces and particles of who we are.
Yeah.
No. Everything is God. So God reached into himself and created us. Out of what? Out of himself. So we are made of the material. And I belabor this a little bit because a lot of people have not made that mental shift that, ooh, this body, me, my world, this is all part of the divine.
Yeah.
Therefore, I am divine. But when you can own that you are, then your world changes. Now, the other part of your question was talking about spirituality. So, spirituality is I don't even know, a philosophy. And the easiest way to really define it is as a juxtaposition to religion. In religion, your truth is outside of you. In spirituality, your truth is inside of you. In religion, your God is outside of you. In spirituality, your God is inside of you. That's probably the best way of making the distinction and explaining what spirituality is.
That is a very good explanation. Yeah. And also, you do talk and teach about angels and different guardian angels. So please tell our audience a little bit about angels and how they work with us and how we can connect with them.
All right. So, you see, you're never alone. Even though it feels to you in the physical, because what's happening when you come into the physical, when you're, I have to step back a little bit. When you're out there, just being in the oneness in space, in the eternal now, you are like a drop of water in the ocean. The drop knows everything that happens everywhere in the ocean because it's part of the ocean. But the drop is also aware of itself as being this drop of water. And so that's your state of being when you're on the other side. But then you come into this physical world, and to function here, you have to have separation and duality. That's where the concept of the self-I and the ego-I comes in. And we have to have duality to function in the physical world. We need to have reflection just to be able, because we're in time and we're on the lowest 3 dimensions there is. Depth, height, and width. The cube. So here we are in this physical world, and we're never alone, even though we think that we are alone, because there is this separation of us being in this physical body that does not merge with other bodies. There is like, you cannot just go through it. You cannot merge. So there is this separation. But your guardian angels, or I call them my spirit team, because they're your friends, they're your support team. They're always with you. And so you need to start learning how to tune in. And the best way to go about this, well, let's talk about their function first. So, spirit guides are attracted to you based on who you are and what you do. As a healer, in my healing capacity, I have a team of 26 that work with me. But they're only with me when I'm actually in my healing modality. I talked to you earlier that I chef some, I do some cooking, and I like to play with flavors, and it's a little more cinnamon, a little more cinnamon, you know. It comes to me. It's not from me. I have 3 chef guides, guardian angels, friends that are with me when I'm in the kitchen.
When you're cooking, how great.
So there's the 2 that are assigned. They chose it. It's not like you with this for the rest of your life. No, they chose. So you have your 2 main counselors. There's a masculine and a feminine one. Of course, you have your higher self, and it's probably within the constraint of time a little too complicated to go and explain what your higher self is.
Yeah, we can talk about that in the next interview. We'll talk about your higher self then.
And then there's your soul that is separate from you, because in this body, and having forgotten who you are not aware of that. So even though your soul is you, it still, from this perspective, looks like a separate entity. And then all the others that choose to be with you based on what you wish to do with your life and how you interact with other people and all that. And so the best way to get in touch with them is to pretend to have conversations with them. So even though you may not hear initially, eventually you will. Even though initially you may not hear what they have to say back to you, they will hear you. And so you're in your car, you're driving, you're in the middle of a bad traffic situation, and you, hey, you know, I have to be there in 10 minutes. Could you help with traffic, please? You just ask them as if, and they are your equals. Do not beseech. Please, do not beseech. Do not, oh, if you help me with this, I will give up smoking, or whatever. Do not make deals, all right? So you just ask them what it is that you wish for you to support them with. You just have an inner dialogue. You don't need to open up your lips and talk out loud. People will think that you're crazy. But in your mind, you just have a conversation as if they were standing around you, pad, pencil in hand, just waiting for that which you desire so that they can support you in that.
That's great. What wonderful information. And we're so honored to have had you on the show. And we'll have you back on and we'll talk a little bit more about the subject. And thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, Daniel, the healer.
Oh, you're most welcome. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Good night.